Welcome everybody, my name is Michael, and today it is 0 degrees right now, which is the high of today. It's negative 15, as you can see from the icicles. Very, very cold. So tomorrow it's going to be negative 13. Midwest chill. We're talking about a S60 today, 2021, black on black, with my favorite rims. This is a T5. So I had the older gen version of this. Look at those rims, super nice. Frozen as well. And I would show you the front, but it is up against the snowbank, so we are gonna take it out. Yeah. So anyways, my old T5 made 247 horsepower, similar, but it was a smaller vehicle. Let's see if we can try to open. There we go. Inside. All right. From the back, well, actually I'm just gonna avoid that. From the back, we got the panoramic roof. We got the nice wooden trim here, but no harm in cardone. It is just your standard Momentum. But for that, for the price point, 2021, that you're getting in the mid-20s, fantastic vehicle to get. Oh, it is frozen. Yeah, wow, look at that. Okay, yeah, creaking. Let's get it started. All right, so this vehicle is just a tad over 25,000. I think it's 25,898. Yeah, it's a little frozen, so any car is going to have a tough time starting today. 48,886 on the odometer. Whew. It is nice and crisp in here. All right, so I prefer the way the old layout was, where with the old layout, by the way, notice this, in Sweden, it's pretty cold. So they made it so these are thick leather gloves, so you can still just as easily go through everything here. But anyways, my favorite thing to do immediately, boom, performance. Look at that. That makes me feel like a race car driver. And then I move my seat back. They're tight. I'm 6'3", they're tight, but this gives you a lot more room, a lot more leg room than the previous gen did. So this is where the steering wheel is. And this is where I'm at. This is a very comfortable distance. Now, one thing is, it is tight here. Let's move the seat. That's as far as it goes. So I like to sit up straight because I have a bad back. And it is kind of a very small amount of room. When I take off my hat, maybe, I mean, at a certain angle, I'm touching it. That's it, I'm touching it. But if I kind of lean back, maybe an inch. And that's fine, because honestly, I had less room in the previous generation. These are very nimble cars. They're very quick. They're very comfortable. The seats are fantastic. For someone who has lumbar issues, lower lumbar, I've had to be out of work 2 years in a row. You know, each time it happens, it's a couple days at least. Sometimes it's a week, and I can't move. The first time it happened, I had to be on crutches. And I had to get in my vehicle, and I was very happy that I was not in a super tall vehicle, a pickup truck, and I had to, because I wouldn't be able to get into it. It was tough, but I was able to kind of plop myself in the seats, and I was able to drive myself to the physical therapist, and it was an experience. But the heated seats is the first thing I always do. I have them on high right now. I have the heated steering wheel. That's the one thing that mine didn't have. And this one has the climate package for $750. Also does have the 19-inch alloy wheels. That was an $800 addition, but other than that, it's just a normal T5 Momentum. It was a one-owner vehicle, so personal lease that we actually had from our dealership. We love these types of vehicles where it was a local vehicle. Now, the reason we don't have many of these is, unfortunately, if it's a lease and it's turned back in, it goes to Volvo's auctions. We don't get to keep these vehicles, and that's a huge minus, because some manufacturers let you do that, most do. And I mean, we need cars, we need pre-owned vehicles. Usually personal leases are in the best shape. because if they're not, the customer is going to get hit with a fee. And you don't want to get hit with $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 fee because you have more wear and tear than was expected. So personal lease vehicles are usually in great shape. One owner vehicles, usually no accidents. This doesn't have any accidents or damage reported to it. And in this case, it was in our lot because we took it as a trade. Sometimes, and especially when this was recently taken in, if it had lower miles or if it had over miles, there's ways around it where you can take it in on trade. But anyways, one owner vehicle, we like these types of vehicles. S60s aren't as popular though, especially in the wintertime. It's a little bit tougher to sell these vehicles, but if someone's looking for a sedan, this is the way to do it. So this one was produced in South Carolina. They did change the plant, so S60s are now produced, and they will have the X30s and whatnot. And the reason for that is with the recharges, they did want to have an American, a domestic-made vehicle to qualify for the EV rebates. But I guess when you're leasing, you still get the $7,500. It gets a little confusing, but forget about that. 20% of the parts are made in America. 20% are in Sweden, 15% in Belgium. The most important, the engine is from Sweden. So that's what we really care about. And then a couple, I think the transmissions from Japan and whatnot. So regardless, this vehicle, take a look at the steering wheel, a very nice minimalistic Swedish feel here. This is going to be, if you have it, which this does not have it, pilot assist. Usually it would have it where you're able to switch between. This means it just has cruise control. So sometimes you have cruise control, sometimes you have pilot assist, where pilot assist actually steers the steering wheel. Not a big deal for me. I don't care so much about it because it's not a full autopilot regardless. There's usually sensors in the IntelliSafe over here that take a look at the vehicle in front of you, and then it also tries to match its speed, but also it is taking a look at the lanes. Now, on a day like today, the weather would limit that where you won't really see it with the snow. Anyways, it does have a 8-speed Geartronic shifter, all-wheel drive. It is going to be a little tough getting past that. Only rear camera, no front camera, no front parking sensor, so that is kind of a downside. It's going to be a little tough to get over that, honestly. Let's see. Might creak a little bit. We're good. We're good. All-wheel drive is something I miss greatly. Yesterday, I had to go to my parents' house, and they were on vacation, so there was a bunch of snow in the driveway, and I was not able to get my front-wheel drive vehicle with seasonal tires through. I actually got stuck. We had to push it out, and I got literally 2 feet into the driveway. Didn't even want to go all the way. Look at those mountains of snow. So all-wheel drive, I certainly missed it, because any all-wheel drive vehicle, and there's the, we have a employee C40 there, and my Volkswagen front-wheel drive is right behind it. The reason I have that, again, I crashed my S60, so I miss it. Unfortunately, couldn't afford it with my bad credit to get another Volvo. But, so I took the wife's car. All our frozen vehicles. These vehicles drive fantastic in the snow. I made a video about that. They are super comfortable. They were built for this type of climate, where, as you can see, just mountains and mountains of snow on the cars we didn't get to. And it is still supposed to be very cold for the next couple of days. These cars are built for this climate. You will feel fantastic. They warm up very quickly. And just the way you drive them, it is such a comfortable experience here that you don't have to worry about, for example, hey, my seat doesn't get adjusted the way I want it to, or, oh no, my visibility's just fine, or, oh no, my car's getting stuck in snow. I think that would be able to get out of there. You would probably have to go back and forth a couple times, but once you cleared it. But honestly, these vehicles, they're not going to be the fastest. They're not going to be the most luxurious. They're not going to be the craziest vehicle you've ever had. But that's not the whole point of Volvo. Volvo is all about safety. It's a vehicle that is premium, that does have a little bit of luxury to it, but also it doesn't go to the same price points as Audi, Mercedes, Porsche, or BMW go to. This is on a level playing field with Infiniti, with Acura, with Lexus, but honestly, in that premium category, just my personal opinion, it's probably the best out of all four listed. And this is coming from someone who previously sold Infinitis. I certainly believe Volvo is on a much different level than Infiniti is. Now, in terms of reliability, and that goes into the cost of parts, if someone's comparing, most of our clients are comparing to Audi and BMW and Mercedes, these vehicles have a lower price point and their parts also cost less. And not only that, but the labor costs can also be less than Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. So with that, compared to the Germans, the Swedes are winning. So you're not going to have the craziest, most amazing, most beautiful vehicle on the planet, but it's also a vehicle that doesn't stand out. And sometimes when you drive a beautiful Mercedes in and your neighbors notice and they get jealous, well, you don't have to worry about that with Volvo. The reason I'm saying this is in America, when I sold Infinitis, some of the Infinitis were a very hot ticket item for thieves. Yes, we had our store robbed 4 times in a single year. We had Infiniti Q50s in Chicago. It's one of the most stolen cars around. And with that, it pops out. It stands out like crazy. It's not something you want to have, especially if you live in apartments, you don't have a garage. Volvo, nobody cares. And that's the best thing about it. There was a time I was speeding and I got a warning, and I honestly think it's because I was in a Volvo. It's kind of like driving a Buick sometimes. Usually the elderly crowd drives it. It's a car that doesn't really stand out. I had a color, the champagne color, where a lot of our clients say, oh, that's kind of an old color. I don't know about that. It's controversial. Well, I love that color because, again, it's a color that I personally enjoy, but police, thieves, nobody really pays attention to it. It's not like it's a red, glaring red, racing red BMW that, boom, let's give this guy a ticket. No, it's a car that maybe grandma gave to the son, you know. It's something like that. And maybe some people don't want those connotations, but to me, I don't care. I want a safe, I want a family vehicle, I want something that can get me from work, especially in a snowstorm, and that's why I choose Volvo. And most importantly, it's the safety. I crashed my vehicle, my wife crashed my S80, we both survived without any injuries. I've had other incidents, smaller incidents, that didn't total vehicles, but small crashes here and there, and it's scary. You have your adrenaline pumping. You could lose your life, you could lose a limb, and if you're driving the wrong type of vehicle, that's it. You can't restart. With Volvo, yeah, with physics, sometimes if you're driving 150 miles per hour and you slam into a building, well, you know, it's not going to be great regardless of the vehicle you're in. But with Volvo, if you're having a bad day or somebody else is having a bad day, or you're in wintertime and something happens, your car slips, you don't have the best tires on, something happens where you didn't plan for it, that's okay, because you're probably going to make it out alive, and hopefully without any injuries. And if there's injuries, hopefully mild injuries instead of major. It's the biggest difference in the world, because you're going to save yourself huge hospital bills that could be $50,000 and just say, you know what, I'm going to go and buy another Volvo. Anyways, I'm a consumer. I'm also a salesman, but first and foremost, I'm someone who just believes in my product because I used to have Volvos, and I will have a Volvo. My wife has a Volvo, my aunt has a Volvo, my dad has a Volvo, my cousin has a Volvo. I have a lot of friends who have Volvos or are planning to get Volvos. This is something that I've just been around for many years with, and I continue to appreciate this brand and what they're doing. And especially now going into the future with hybrids and all of this, it's just a fantastic brand to have. So whether you're getting just the normal internal combustion engine S60, or you're getting the recharge, the hybrid, or you're getting the new mild hybrids, these are great cars to have. Now, we're not going to be test driving it right now because it is snowy, it is icy, it is very cold outside. I'd rather be sitting inside in the warm. But let me show you around, because I did pull it up front to show you how beautiful it is in the front. And yes, it's not the prettiest car in the world, but it still looks fantastic in my opinion. Now, the reason we went all the way over here is there's an S60R that is under that snow right there. That's a mechanic's car. It's his project car. As you can see, very iced up. Those rims really stand out. And honestly, for that price point, 25,000, 26,000, a vehicle that still has its warranty, this is an amazing buy. 250 horsepower is enough for the average person just to get you from work and back. It's a car that's going to fit in most parking spots. You're not going to have any issues like with the Cadillac Escalade. It's a car that doesn't burn too much fuel. It's 2.0 liter, turbocharged. That's one of my favorite cars. So that is the S60 right there. I'm gonna go back inside because my fingers are freezing. Fast key entry system right there. And also from the back, which that's one thing I miss with the Volkswagen. It only lets you from the front, meaning on days like this when it's really cold, you have to fumble around, where's the keys, or let me open the front door and then unlock it, and then I go into the back and it's not that super comfortable. Let's rev it just once. Let me take this down. Okay. Woo! Hands are freezing. It's not going to be super sporty, but you can adjust with the drive modes. Get it into dynamic. It is a car that is ready to go. Trust me. That's also how I crashed. I was rushing to work. These cars, 250 horsepower, is just enough to get you. And again, with safety, boom, look at that. It's a traffic sign recognition. 40 miles per hour is the last it saw there. 120, 220, yeah, looks like the time needs to be adjusted. But again, I will always repeat this. Old generation, you can turn off start and stop. You also, again, with the drive modes, instead of having to fumble around the settings, everything's right there. If you do have the upgraded sound system, you could just go here, boom, at sound stage if you do have the Bowers and Wilkins, which I certainly recommend if you're looking for a little bit more luxury. But even the standard sound system is what I had in my S60, and this is just perfect. Compared to a Honda, Toyota, or Volkswagen, you could actually hear the music well. Without having an upgraded sound system, it still sounds great. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll leave you with this, my favorite part, the beer. Nice crystal beer that's sharp, concise, and up top you have roadside assistance that I'll call. So, you have a good one. And if you're considering S60, certainly don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.